Captain Thomas Wright was a Navy chaplain deployed with Marines in Afghanistan in 2013. The spiritual anchor for young men facing death. In Helmand Province, his unit hit heavy contact during a routine patrol. Corporal James Sullivan took shrapnel to the abdomen. Thomas crawled through gunfire to reach him. James was fading fast. Chaplain, am I going to hell? He'd killed enemy combatants and couldn't reconcile it with his faith. Thomas held his hand. God knows your heart. You're a good man, but James died before medevac arrived, eyes full of fear and doubt. Thomas couldn't shake the feeling he'd failed to give James peace. He finished his deployment, but left the Navy in 2014. He couldn't preach anymore. Couldn't offer comfort he didn't believe. Thomas moved to Nashville and became an accountant, abandoning his calling entirely. For 10 years, he avoided churches and questions about his service. Then one day, organizing an estate sale, he found a box of letters from deployed service members. One was addressed to Chaplain Wright, forwarded from his old unit. It was from James Sullivan, written 2 days before he died. Thomas's hands shook as he read it. James wrote about his fears, his faith, and how talking with Thomas had helped him find peace. Your words mattered, James wrote. If something happens to me, please tell my parents I wasn't afraid at the end because you were there. The letter included his parents' address in Ohio. Thomas drove 12 hours straight. He knocked on the Sullivans' door, introduced himself, and broke down. I don't think I gave him peace. Mrs. Sullivan hugged him tight and led him inside. She showed him James's room, preserved exactly as he'd left it. On the desk was a journal. She opened it to the last entry, written the morning James died. Chaplain Wright helped me understand that serving with honor is its own prayer. I'm not afraid anymore. Thomas wept. Mr. Sullivan put a hand on his shoulder. He found peace because of you. The Sullivans asked Thomas to speak at a Gold Star Families event. He agreed, terrified. But standing before those families, sharing James's words, Thomas felt his calling return. He's now a VA chaplain, serving veterans struggling with moral injury. James's journal sits on his desk, and Thomas learned that sometimes the prayers we think go unanswered are the ones that echo longest.